I'm Gon, and I'm Killua, and this is the Hunter x Hunter the 287th Exams official board game. Today, during this Hunterpedia, we're going to explain to you the anatomy of a turn for this new board game. So this is the second round of the exam, and we are both each going to choose a different opponent to play against. Killua is going to choose to go against here, and Gon is going to go against this opponent. Now, once each current player selects one of the different opponents available to play against, you each take your turn simultaneously rolling against them. I'll be showing each of us taking our turn separately to make it a little bit easier to understand who's going and who's doing what. But remember that during each round, there's an examiner who's affecting the way the game works. Now, during this round, we have Lipo, and he does two specific things. One, he makes any green dice rolled -1 to whatever you roll, but then he also gives all of your green reflex tokens +1. I'm going to be playing as Gon first, and so I have two abilities that are super relevant to the choices I'm going to be making on my turn. The first one is whenever I roll a 6, I may put a die from my pool onto an empty dashboard ability. That means I can move any of these dice onto any of these dashboard abilities. Gon has extra dashboard abilities compared to other characters, which allows him to get as many of these as possible, getting more benefits than you normally would be able to. Speaking of which, I also have whenever you roll this die, in this moment green, give a die of the same type +1 for each die in your dashboard slots. So right now, whenever I roll a green die, I get +1 to that roll because I have one dice in my dashboard. I also already have 3 green reflex tokens, which will add +1 to my rolls, but now currently +2 for each green die I use. And I also have a reroll token that lets me reroll any die after I roll. Now, looking at the opponent I chose to play against, I have a few different options. If I roll any total amount of dice rolls equal to 3 or more, I gain 2 purple reflex tokens. If I roll anything above a 6 of green or more, I gain 3 hearts, which lets me heal dice that I've already rolled. Or if I roll more than 9, I get to scrap this card, gaining an experience point, plus I can use 4 of my reflex tokens to buy an additional die from the dice bag. Seeing that I'm getting really good bonuses to the green in general, I think I really want to go for this. And the worst case scenario, I could heal the dice I roll if I roll and I miss. If I get the 6 versus the 9. So I'm going to roll 2 of my die. And I have gotten a 9. That is -2. So I do get +2 from this die. So I do end up washing out and hitting the 9 I need to be able to scrap it. Once you scrap it, you add this to your scrap pile. This is my 3rd experience, and then I would get a benefit. I don't have enough boost tokens, so I don't get to pay for it to get another die, but if I just had one more, I would have been able to do that to add an additional dice to my dice pool. One thing to be aware of when you're betting dice is once you roll them, they get discarded to the side, and you can only bring them back to your board by taking a wound. But if you take 4 wounds, you lose the game. Okay, now I'm going to be taking Killua's turn. Killua has 3 different things he can roll against, but they're kind of difficult because they're each 7, so no matter what, I have to roll better than a 7, and each of them are a different color of die. So I have to either roll 7 of a green type, 7 purple type, or 7 red. Now, one key thing to know about red die, it's one of the reasons they're translucent versus solid, is that these are able to be used as wild. So if you roll a red die, you can use them to add to any different color that you want, but you can only use red die against red challenges. The other key feature inherent to red dice is that once you have it off of your dashboard, you can't use heals, these hard effects that Gon could have gotten if you got less than a 6, to earn it back. Or you can't use healing abilities that your character might have. You can only bring it back if you take a wound. Kurapika plays slightly differently. His whole ability is to heal red dice because it matches his eye colors. It's a whole thing. We'll get into Kurapika in a different video. Also, while you're here, make sure that follow button. I'm going to be breaking down this game and all the other games we make at Kess Entertainment, as well as making sure to check this game out. It'll be available at Barnes & Noble at the end of this month. Similar to Gon, Killua has 2 abilities we should be aware of. The first one is his experience abilities. If you gain 1 or more reflex tokens, you may exchange 1 for a reroll token instead. That means anytime I get a reflex tokens, I can get reroll tokens instead because Killua has a bunch of different ways to take advantage of his reroll token. This, beyond just the reflexes of Killua that kind of lean into that, is also a reference to him having a yo-yo and a skateboard in the Hunter exam. He likes wheels, and these are round. It's the whole thing. As I mentioned, reroll tokens are a big thing that Killua is trying to do, and his current ability that he's upgrading his purple dice with is if you use a reroll token on a die of this type, purple, give it +1 this turn. So that means if I use a reroll token on any of the purple die and I re-roll it, it will get +1 from its normal roll. With that in mind, I'm going to go for the purple option on this character. But because I don't want to take a wound very soon, I'm just going to use 2 of my purple dice to get through this. All right, what did I get? I got a 6. Now, I think the best option to be able to beat this is by using a reroll token. So I'm going to discard this reroll token to reroll this die. Getting a 2, but I also get +1 because I used a reroll token on a purple die, meaning this is 3, it's 8. I definitely are able to defeat this character. This character has the scrap symbol for that reward, so I get to put him in my experience pile, now having 3 experience. As soon as I get 4 experience, I get to get a random dice from the bag. And then I also get 3 green reflex tokens. But because of my base ability off of Killua, I will actually get 2 green tokens and 1 reroll token. There we go. So now that we've finished the turn, we each take our dice back and put them into our dice discard area. We can bring these dice back if we take a wound token at any point, or also if we get any healing rewards, we can bring them back to our board. When you take a wound token, that also allows you to naturally place an additional die on this dashboard, and you may always roll these die from your dashboard if you need to, though you do lose the ability until you put a dice back on there. We then take the remaining character card that didn't get defeated and move him into the discard deck, and take our characters back to our dashboards and reveal the next 3 enemies that we'll have to be able to defeat during the next round. After 3 rounds of going through this and the enemy deck is done, we then count how many cards are left in the enemy deck, and then replenish those characters using cards from the more difficult enemy deck. And so as you play the game, enemies will get more and more difficult, going through more and more of the different exam rounds from the anime and manga. Eventually, you will get to a deck that is smaller than the starting deck size for a 2-player game that is a 9-card deck. And once the deck is smaller than the starting 9 cards, you go through the final exams. We're already at 6 minutes, so I'll explain that in a separate video. But that ostensibly is the main gameplay core loop of Hunter x Hunter, the 287th exams. You play through multiple rounds trying to upgrade your character, defeat enemies, get through the deck as fast as you possibly can so that you can get to the final exam and win before you run out of dice and get too many wounds of losing the game. This game is an early launch at the beginning of summer during June, and then will be released everywhere else sometime over the summer, but definitely will be at cons like Origins, Gen Con, etc. Please comment below with your favorite Hunter x Hunter character. I want to know if you have any additional questions for how the game works, and we'll be showing more and more content here and then on the Casa Entertainment TikTok account as well, so make sure to follow there as well.